What's going on, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. For those of you stopping by for the first time, see that little red subscribe button down below? Go ahead and push that and show your support for the channel. Those of you stop by that have been before, welcome back to TLTG Reviews, my friends. Glad you came to see me. And for those of you that have been around for a while, bet you haven't heard that in a long time. Well, speaking of, today I wanted to cover one that, if you've been around for a while, you should be expecting most of these to be in this video, because today I'm covering the 10 fragrances that I have hyped up the absolute most, whether it's from amount of features on this channel or just how excited they get me. So stay tuned. They're in no particular order, because if they were in a particular order, this would not be the first fragrance in this video. Some AQUA ESSENZIALE Blue from Salvatore Ferragamo. The fragrance probably most synonymous with me and my channel because of my love and passion for it. Still my favorite blue fragrance, still my favorite cheap fragrance overall. While price has creeped up a little bit since the beginning of my channel, which is about to make 2 full years here next month. It's still great. You can find it for 30 some odd dollars. Amazon, places like that. There's an Amazon link below. It's like $34, $35 for a 100 ml. That's still a great price for this fragrance. It performs well for me. I know not everybody gets great performance, but a lot of people do get really good performance. It's in the family of a Dylan Blue, while not smelling exactly like Dylan Blue. It smells like it's got a little touch of Bleu de Chanel mixed with some Dylan Blue, and then this one's got a little bit more of a powdery type of lavender to it. The cypriol oil kind of stands out and giving it this darker quality. It's just a wonderful blue fragrance. It really is. I love this stuff. Yes, it works well year-round. It can be a signature scent. Though I don't like to wear it a lot in the super high heat. The rest of the year, this is a, when I don't know what else to wear, I grab this. It's a great fragrance in my opinion. AQUA ESSENZIALE Blue from Salvatore Ferragamo. Even though the original in its line is technically my favorite, the one I've featured the most, the one I talk about the most, and the one I wear the most is PRADA L'Homme L'Eau. Usually featured in my summer designer list. Easy to wear fragrance videos, work fragrances, you name it. This stuff usually ends up in that type of video because it's just so damn good. The way the ginger mixes with this soapy iris, this is a delight. I'm glad to have a big bottle. I'll probably never run out of it because I have so many fragrances that the rotation is forever changing. But this is a great one to go back to for me, and a great one for you to get your hands on if you like iris, because this is one of the best fresh iris fragrances I've ever tried. I love this stuff. It's great. Like I said, even though I claim the original is my favorite, technically L'Eau is my favorite because it's the one that I wear the most. It's the one I recommend the most. It's the one I smell the most, basically. Some really good stuff. They were popping up at Ross Dress for Less last year for a stint. I don't know if they're really popping up at rack stores anymore. I've never seen it at a rack store. But you can still find them for a decent price online. And like I said, if you love iris fragrances, this is one of the best warm weather iris fragrances money can buy, in my opinion. That's PRADA L'Homme L'Eau. Definitely the newest fragrance to my collection that's in this video, but it's one that has been featured heavily over the last month. It's been worn several times over the last month, which for those of you that watch my rotation videos, you know which fragrance I'm talking about probably, and you know how rare it is for me to wear a fragrance this often in a month's time. Why? Eau de Toilette from Yves Saint Laurent. I just love this stuff. More of a light blue fragrance than a blue fragrance, not just because of the juice color. Because what I classify as a light blue fragrance versus a blue fragrance is it's got to be a whole lot fresher than your average blue fragrance. Blue fragrance has the mass appeal. They're easy to like, easy to wear. They're versatile. They work in pretty much every situation, every season. That's kind of the definition of what the blue genre is all about. Light blue, they're just a much fresher, easier to wear, more geared towards warmer weather type of scent. That's where the light blue designation comes in for me. And this is more light blue with, you know, Live, the EDP being the blue fragrances. This and Eau Fraiche being the light blue fragrances in the line. And this one's just a stunner. It's still my favorite. I've tried all but the Le Parfum. I've had a 10 ml decant of the EDP. I have bottles of the others. While the entire line's fantastic in my opinion, this is the best one. Just my opinion. Some will agree, some will not. But why EDT? I think it's amazing. Next is actually my current scent of the day. When I was putting this video together, it made me want to wear it. I haven't worn it in a little while. And this is the only straight up clone in the video. It's more what it's cloned of with a little bit of a twist because it's more of the citrus aromatic version. Because the original is an aromatic fougere. Some of you know what I'm talking about when I say that. It's Sammy Andrus Fragrances. This is Blue Sapphire, a much more citrus aromatic version of Roger Parfum's Elysium. Love this juice. So much more metallic, sharp and metallic citrus than actual Elysium. You can see the dent I've started to put in there. I do have a few backup bottles of this as well. I just love this stuff. It's a citrus bomb. It has a little bit of leather in the dry down, but I don't get a whole lot of that. I get a lot of the Artemisia and blackcurrant really give it this metallic quality, I find. And there's a lot of bright, fruity citrus here. It's a very strong performer. This is the, I guess you can call it a clone fragrance I've talked about the most. I've hyped up the most. It's the one I wear the most. I love this stuff. If you only get one fragrance from Sammy Andrus, make it Blue Sapphire. If you were looking for a great version of Elysium, a great alternative that performs, this is the best one in my opinion. Some may think others are better because I haven't tried all of them, but the buck stopped when I got my hands on this one because I just think it's that good. Performs that well. Love the way it smells. It gets me compliments. Checks all the boxes. Strong enough to work in the winter, fresh enough to work in the summer. Sammy Andrus Fragrances. This is Blue Sapphire. You know, I love the DIOR Homme line. From the non-iris fragrances, not counting the new DIOR Homme, but Sport and stuff like that, to all the other ones that feature iris, eau, intense, so on. The original, I still believe that's where you need to start. But DIOR Homme Parfum, it's something special. It really is. I've featured it many times. I hold it in a very high regard. I don't wear it a lot. I save it for special situations. Oh man, so good. Love those DIOR atomizers too. I don't have to do a full spray, just to spray a little bit for you guys for the video. But very expensive to get your hands on here in the United States because over in Europe, it's still readily available, the 100 milliliter bottles. These 75 milliliter bottles have been discontinued for a while now. The 100 mLs are not easy to get over here. And getting one of these is going to run you well over $200 on eBay and places like that. Is it worth that kind of money? Not really. It kind of is, because the fragrance is that good. It performs. It's a beast. It's unique. It's special. It's one of the best designer fragrances ever created, in my opinion. But I still couldn't stomach spending that kind of money on it, to be honest with you, because I have 2 bottles of this, and I paid less for 2 bottles than what they're going for 1 bottle on eBay. So take that with a grain of salt. You have to make that decision on if you feel it's worth it. I wouldn't pay that, but the fragrance is special. If you can get your hands on it for a decent price, and you like iris, this is the cream of the crop right here. I just, man, cold weather, not a warm weather fragrance at all. Will be way too much and cloying, but it's a little rough and rugged, yet still has a formal appeal. It's lovely. DIOR Homme Parfum. Anytime I'm looking for a fresh fragrance that performs or gets compliments, anytime you see any of those types of videos, you probably have seen Acqua di Gio ABSOLU here on this channel. Reason being, it does that exact type of stuff for me. Strong, surprising compliment getter that's a beast on my skin. This stuff performs. Have a big 200 ml backup, and it's one that doesn't get a lot of love. You know, there's a few people that favor it here on YouTube. For the most part, it got mixed reviews when it came out. It gets the whole smells like Invictus Aqua tag, which it has a little bit of the fruity aquatic nature of Invictus Aqua, but it doesn't smell straight up like Invictus Aqua. I would in no way consider this a clone. The patchouli darkens this one up quite a bit though, believe it or not. I feel like this is a fruitier, non-incense version of Profumo. Swallow that for a second. The patchouli is a bit heavier than it is in Profumo. There's no incense and the fruits are dialed up heavily. It's much more fruity. Similar base DNA because they're both Acqua di Gio fragrances. In no way do I find it redundant to have these Acqua di Gio flankers together. They make them different enough where you can have them all. Very strategic and clever on their part. But this is one that's been featured many times on my channel and will probably be featured many times in the future because I just love this stuff. That's why I hype it up. Acqua di Gio ABSOLU from Giorgio Armani. Probably the fragrance, the second most hyped fragrance on this channel besides Acqua ESSENZIALE Blue, to be honest with you. First Instinct Together from Abercrombie and Fitch. Yes, pretty hard to watch a few videos without coming across this somewhere in one of those videos. Even if it's just a weekly rotation video. This will pop up out the shower sometimes. I have multiple bottles of it. It still pops up all the time at the rack stores. I was at Marshall's the other day. They didn't have nothing but a few bottles of this and the original First Instinct. That's why that video didn't come out, because there was nothing. I didn't even finish filming the video. There was nothing. Whole bunch of nothing. So around here it's been pretty dry for me. That's why you haven't seen any rack store videos recently. But if you're looking for just a cheapy stud, it smells fantastic for as synthetic as it is. It smells fantastic, and it'll get you some compliments. It just will. It's perfect for this time of year. I can't preach getting this one enough. To be honest with you, it's probably the fragrance I hype the most. Not just recently, but overall. This is the one that I'm constantly saying, roll the dice when you see this one at the rack stores and give it a try. I personally love it. Is everybody that takes my advice and gets a bottle going to love it? No. What's the likelihood of it being a 100% success rate? Very low. But for the most part, you guys will like this. It's really good stuff in my opinion. As long as you're okay with synthetic, because it's definitely synthetic. Ambergris bomb, grapefruit, aquatic and watery. It's delightful. First Instinct Together by Abercrombie and Fitch. So since the beginning of my channel, this has been featured. This is 2 of the first 5 videos on my channel was the first impressions video for this fragrance and the full review for this fragrance. I'm talking about Davidoff Cool Water Wave. This is another fragrance that's pretty synonymous with my channel. It does pop up sporadically, but pretty regularly on my channel. It is my favorite cheap shower gel scent. Has been for a long time now. The cool water DNA is a little present in there. You can detect it, but it doesn't smell straight up like another version of cool water. It smells like its own thing. It's extremely aquatic and fresh. The Sichuan pepper in here adds a little punch of spice that fleets. It doesn't stay long. The juniper, the woods. It has, for being a somewhat generic shower gel scent, it does have a little bit of character. It does have some charm because, like I said, it's very marine aquatic. It will remind you of Invictus Aqua without being a clone of Invictus Aqua. It'll remind you of cool water without being just another cool water fragrance. It's a shower gel scent that's not just straight up Axe shower gel. So I know that's an interesting way to put it, but that's really the best way I can describe it because it is a little of those things, but not completely. It's a decent fragrance. It's not a beast in performance. longevity or projection. It's just an easy joy to wear. Expect to see it again in the future on this channel, I'm sure. Davidoff Cool Water Wave. My favorite easy wear fragrance. It's always been the fragrance to get me some compliments. It's going to go on the rotation this week, as a matter of fact. Time for me to start pulling it out. It's been hot enough recently because I like to wear this strictly in the summer. Talking about INVICTUS AQUA. My fave. And for those of you that don't know, the reason it says the name is because it's a tester. I love this stuff. Fresh, watery, slightly powdery, marine and salty. Such a good fragrance. I love this stuff. This is one I always urge to try. Try INVICTUS AQUA so you can understand where I'm coming from. One of the freshest of the fresh. One of the most aquatic of the aquatics. And when it comes to compliments, like I said, it's second to none in my collection. This stuff is banging. Always has been, probably always will be. And for the longest time, the original INVICTUS was my favorite fragrance, and this was a very, very close second. But as time progressed, this overtook it. It's my favorite. It just is. One that I've hyped to death, and I'll continue to do so because I think it's great. PACO RABANNE INVICTUS AQUA. Last, this is probably the fragrance, the second most synonymous with my channel. Well, maybe third, because First Instinct together has gotten a lot of love on this channel. But I actually have a fragrance coming out in collaboration with this brand. Of course, I'm talking about Zaharoff Signature Pour Homme. My new fragrance, Business Over Pleasure, is available for pre-order from the link down below. But this is still the end-all be-all for me when it comes to wearing a suit, dressing up, special occasions, going to a wedding, whatever. Signature Pour Homme is a man's fragrance. It's very refined. It's extremely masculine. It's a lavender bomb that has a whole lot of dark, warmth, resinous spice to it without being too spicy, without being too resinous. It's a great balance. It's one of those classic style fragrances because it's got so many notes going for it, but it's so heavily nuanced. You do get a lot of these different notes throughout its lifespan. It constantly changes. Claude Deer did phenomenal work because that's what Claude Deer does. Claude Deer did my fragrance as well. The man's a genius. He's a legendary perfumer. He's not just a master perfumer, he is a legendary perfumer. And this is some of his best work in my opinion. Love this stuff. Get your hands on it if you haven't yet. Man, it's just so good. It really is. It's not a bias because George is my friend. It's not a bias because I have a fragrance with Zaharoff. It's try it for yourself to understand where I'm coming from. Nobody holds a gun to anybody's head to get a bottle of fragrance when you watch a YouTube video. Try before you buy. This is one you can try before you buy. Get yourself a free sample. Go to the website and order one. Might take a little bit because they get a lot of orders for free samples. But get yourself a free sample. Try before you buy. You can understand where I'm coming from because this fragrance, it's that good. Zaharoff Signature Pour Homme. Well, that's the 10 fragrances that I have hyped the most on this channel. And until next time, do me a real quick favor. Go ahead and like, comment, subscribe because I do appreciate all the feedback and I love hearing from you guys. What in this video have you picked up because you watched one of my videos and I just made you feel like it was all that and you needed to get it? Let me know down in the comments. What in this video have you yet to try? For me personally, my opinion alone, these are some pretty damn good fragrances. That's why I talk about them pretty regularly. That's why they're staples on my channel. And definitely worth owning in my opinion. And until next time, I will say if you get your hands on any of the fragrances I featured in this video, give them a spray now. Pretty confident you'll thank me later. Because I damn sure hype them up all the time. Have a good one, guys.